All right, so looks like we are live, and I'm going to give a few seconds for people to join in. But if you guys are watching this on the playback, our live session today is on uh, habit formation. But specifically, I actually named it three steps because there's three things I believe if you practice well, if you do consistently, you will absolutely conquer your life goals. Um, it's not exhaustive. Of course, there's a lot of things you can do to be successful in life, but there's three steps that I want to encourage all everyone watching this to practice and put into play starting this week, starting as soon as possible, I should say. But they're very practical steps. Now, as you guys, I should actually find a way to post this in. Put this to full screen. I want to pose a question for everyone joining. I want you to know. I want to know what is your goals in for the next, let's say 5-10 years. If you think about 2 to 5 year plan, short or long term, what goals have you set for your life? What is it that you are wanting to accomplish, either this year, next year, the next 5 years? So let me actually put that as a question in the chat here. What are your, I should say, biggest goals? Because I'm sure we usually have more than one goal in life. So I want to know, as you guys are watching, and I'll show this on the screen here, what are your biggest goals in life? For me, of course, my goal is pretty huge. My goal is to be impactful worldwide in reducing the rates of diabetes, and both by prevention and reversal. So I know there's a lot of powerful ministries, powerful influencers who are and educators, healthcare workers who are battling this diabetes epidemic. So that's my goal. What are your goals? So anyone watching, let me know what goals you have set for your life. I'm assuming if you stopped in to watch that you got some kind of goal that you set for yourself. So what are the goals that you set for yourself to conquer? And they could also be things that you have accomplished, but you're working on defining and improving on. Uh, but I believe whatever stage you are in life, you should always have something, some kind of goal, something that you're striving to achieve and obtain. All right. So I want to know, what goals we have set for ourselves. Um, Even if it's something that you feel you've accomplished or you're close to accomplishing. Okay. That's one thing. The next thing is after I want to make sure that, and this is alive for a reason. Okay, I could have easily done this stream. I could have easily recorded this and just uploaded it instead of streaming it live. These three steps are very practical, very useful, and I could talk all day on how to be successful in using these steps. But I wanted to do this as a live because I feel like there's a lot more to gain when you have a conversation. So I'll be asking questions, and I'm trying not to keep it too long. I know in the past our lives usually go as long as an hour. This one I'll try to keep to 20 to 30 minutes, the max. So don't quote me on that. I'm gonna do my best because there's a lot we can talk about. But I want to highlight that this is supposed to be interactive. So you guys, thank you, Christine, and looking the part for sharing your goals. So Christine says that my biggest goal is to heal adrenal fatigue. My second goal is to continue to learn carpentry skills. Awesome. Yes, great. Good goals. Looking the part says to start a business and to be impactful and helping people. Reverse cholesterol and heart disease. Yes, for kindred spirits, looking the part. So, reversing disease is a high, definitely a high calling. But I love also, Christine, your goal to heal from adrenal fatigue. Definitely, our prayers are with you with that. And being successful in a skill like carpentry, awesome. So anyone watching or joining in right now, we're asking what your goals are in life. I want to know what kind of goals you set for yourself. And I was also saying that I hope that as we go through our 3 lessons, feel free to ask questions and give input. Okay. See this more as a classroom setting. I could have done this as a recording and posted it, but I wanted to do a live because there's a lot we can learn as we engage with each other, interact with each other. I will be asking questions. I want to get your feedback on. Okay. And that's how we'll get the most from this live. I should also say, since this is streaming on multiple platforms, I'm not always able to see your name as you post a question or you make a comment. So feel free to let me know who you are, especially if I know you personally. So we have a Facebook user I don't see the name of. They said that they're all health numbers to be in normal ranges is their goal. That's great. And health numbers are your lab work, your blood work that your doctor orders for you is a great way to measure your state of health. Okay. And it's great to have a doctor regularly, that you see getting your checkups regularly, I should say, because you want to prevent disease before it comes. The worst thing is to have to make the changes that are necessary to reverse disease, because the changes necessary to reverse the disease are much harder than what it takes to prevent it. So good job, my friends. Getting your health numbers into normal range. Definitely be praying for you for that. Okay. All right. So yeah, as you guys are coming in, what are your goals? What are your goals? All right. So let's go ahead and start with our 3 steps. Okay. The first step. Hold on. Let me just pull up this here. This helps me kind of keep track of the time. So I put my timer right here. First step to be successful. It's going to sound really obvious, but it's something that can't be highlighted enough. We have a goal come up from another viewer. I'm sorry, I don't see your name. My biggest goal is to spread the word and information regarding proper nutrition and good health to as many people as I can. I would love to prevent others from having to deal with type 2 diabetes and enjoy a productive and healthy life. Awesome. Great. Keep sharing your goals, guys. Keep sharing your goals. All right. So the first thing that is crucial, that must be done to be successful, to kill it, to conquer your life goals, is to set SMART goals. Set SMART goals. And we're going to explain that. As Jane says, her goal is to be more active. Good job, Jane. Set SMART goals. I don't know if you guys have heard of this acronym, the acronym for SMART when it comes to goal setting, but it's very good, and it's definitely worth highlighting. SMART. First, I think the best way to show it is on my screen. Let me see if I could present what SMART, S-M-A-R-T, stands for, and as an acronym to help you remember how to start from the beginning when it comes to setting goals, setting SMART ones. Okay. So this is awesome. I'm gonna show it to you in a second here. Just got to find the right screenshot option. Here it is. Actually have it on. All right, thanks for your patience here. I actually had the wrong screen up. Oh, here it is. I just share this. There's actually a couple ways to do this. All right, let me know if you guys see the screen. Hopefully you guys are seeing the screen that I'm showing here. So this is an acronym for SMART. S-M-A-R-T, taking it down and breaking it down. Goals that are SMART are specific. Okay. An effective goal should be ultra specific and leave no room for misinterpretation or vagueness. For a goal to be SMART, it also has to be measurable. Your goal should be quantifiable and the progress easy to track, so you know when you hit a benchmark or the finish line. Achievable. Where the rubber meets the road, is your personal goal attainable? You must be realistic and determine if your specific goal is truly achievable or unrealistic. Relevant, the big picture. Does the goal you're setting contribute to the big picture of your life? In time-bound, SMART objective goals should have identified start and end times. Okay. So those are SMART goals. So for example, let's give some examples. Okay, you guys are giving examples, hopefully have given examples of goals that you set. Um, and there's nothing wrong with how you set your goals or how you word your goals, but if they can fall into those criteria of SMART, being smart, specific. For example, I might have a goal that I want to read more. Okay, or yeah, so I set a goal, I want to read more. That's a very vague goal. It's not very, so you can get more specific than that. Okay. Looking the part, you say you don't see the screen, my screen on this platform. I guess you're watching on YouTube. I'm not sure. I'll have to fix that. Sorry about that. But I'm only going to be sharing the screen a couple times. Most of you'll be seeing my screen as it is now from the majority of this presentation. So I apologize about that. I have to figure out why YouTube doesn't show the screen. But going back to setting SMART goals. So a smart goal would be, I want to read one book a month, every month, so that by the end of, say, in 6 months, I'll have read 6 books. And that's more specific, because now you can track, am I really reading that goal, right? If I say I'm going to read more, how do I measure that if I'm successful at reading more? Is reading a magazine on the way to work count, right? Being specific sets a time, a way to measure that goal if it's successful, and a way to know that you're actually being productive. Your goal is actually working for you. You say you want to eat healthy, right? I want to eat healthy. I want to eat healthier. Is that a SMART goal, guys? I want to eat healthier. How many people are successful in life when they just say, I'm going to start eating healthy starting today, right? Oh, so we have another person not seeing my screen. Maybe it's on my end. I'll have to figure that out. Are you guys seeing my screen now, though? Let's see. Maybe I have to switch it. Let me know if anyone else is not seeing my screen. I'm guessing you're hearing my voice, but you're not seeing my screen. This is the first time I've done this type of view. So let me see if I change my view, if it's in any different orientation. Cannot be fixed. Those who aren't able to see my screen, are you guys using phones, or are you watching on a laptop? Okay, look in the part, you could see me. Jane, can you see me now? I'm hoping everyone can see me. So you think I would have this down by now. This is probably the, I don't know, the 5th or 6th live I've done. And by the way, okay, sell your device, Taya. All right. Is anyone not able to see me? Let me know. I just changed the view of the screen. I'm not sure if it makes a difference. Okay. All right. Good. You guys are watching. You can see me. All right, I'm gonna change it one more time. So you guys are helping me troubleshoot. Can you see me now? Can you still see me? I just changed the zoom aspect. Supposedly, they say this aspect on that I just changed to is better for phones. If you're watching on phones, I know a lot of people are using their phones. So let me know if you guys can't see me. You can still see me. Great. All right. All right. So thank you for that. And by the way, guys, as you're watching, I hope you have been able to see our lives in the past. Every time we broadcast these, they are rebroadcasted, so you could watch them back. You could play them back, okay? And we do this every Monday at 7 p.m. All right, so yes, going back to SMART goals. So I was asking a question, yeah, the chart was not available. All right. Yeah, I was asking a question about SMART goals. Is saying I want to eat healthy a SMART goal? Is that following the steps for what SMART is? Specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, relevant, and time bound. Is saying I want to eat healthy, I want to start eating healthy, a SMART goal? I'm looking for answers, guys. Is this a SMART goal? I want to eat healthy. Does it follow those criteria of SMART: specific, measurable, attainable, relevant? Of course, it is relevant because everyone needs to eat healthy. But is it SMART? Is it smart? All right. You guys are hopefully thinking about this as I'm asking this. What In what way can you make that goal a SMART goal? Very easily. Instead of saying I want to eat healthy, you could say that I want to start. Like, let me use myself for example. When I started being more successful and specific in my goals, I said to myself that I wanted to eat more plant-based foods, including fruits and vegetables and whole grains, while limiting animal-based foods in my diet. And I wanted to be able to see the results of my diet change through by losing 10 pounds in 6 months. Is that a smart goal? Now, right? Looking the part said no, right? That eating healthy is not a smart goal. Saying I'm just going to eat healthy, that's not a smart goal, right? Making it specific, making it measurable, like I'm going to check my weight periodically and see if I'm being successful. I'm going to use food apps to log or old-fashioned paper and log my intake of food. I can measure that kind of goal to see if I'm actually fulfilling the goal I'm setting for myself, right? And Taya says I feel people have no control over what they eat. If diabetes is in your fate, you will develop diabetes. Not true, not true. But we could discuss that on another live. That's a great topic for another live for sure. Okay, but we're gonna stay on topic today and talk about goals that you can set for yourself. But yeah, it is definitely not true. You know, just because it's in your genes doesn't mean you will develop it fully. Okay. Someone asked about iron levels. My iron levels are fine on whole food, plant-based diet. You don't need to worry about iron levels. You get plenty of safe. Actually, the iron levels in plant-based foods are safer than meat. Okay, so we actually had a live on that question and answer live about on plant-based diet. Definitely look at that. If you're interested, I can send you the link on that. Okay. Oh, maybe I misunderstood to you, Tay. You're talking about being fated instead of your genes determining diabetes. So sorry if I misunderstood you, but yeah. So now going back to SMART goals. So there's a few other things I want to focus on, but I want to make sure we're getting SMART goals. So you guys have set some goals for yourselves, right? And hopefully, if you haven't already, let me know what your goal is, right? What's your biggest goal in life? What is it you're trying to accomplish in the next 2 to 5 years? And you have to ask yourself, how can I make this a SMART goal? How can I be more specific, more strategic in how I word my goal? It's huge. Going back to saying I want to read more, I might decide, this is not working. I'm not able to read a book a month. It's just too much. Sometimes then you go back to the drawing board and say, well, I know I could read 15 minutes a day. Let me start there, right? If you can make the more specific you can make your goal, the more likely you'll be able to tell if it's working. Number one, number two, you'll be able to measure if it's too high or too low a mark. Okay, so be specific in your goals. Set goals you can measure to be successful at, and we'll talk a little bit more that measuring part in step 3 of this 3 parts. Okay, so now if you want to go to step 2, you have to do step 1, right? I mean, the better you are at wording step 1, you can move on and be successful in step 2. And step 2 is crucial, and that is to dive in. Okay, what I mean by that. So most people, when they're thinking about setting a goal for your life, you're thinking about the slow and steady pace. Now, I'm not going to say that doesn't work or that can't be effective. But if you're struggling with consistency in life, especially when it comes to lifestyle changes. When you're talking about making a change to your diet, people say it's easier to change your religion than it is to change your diet, right? The way you've been eating your whole life, okay? Or if you, when it comes to making changes, though, to especially lifestyle habits that are in, that call for you going against the grain of what you've been doing for years, the slow and steady route often fails. Research shows that if you can make drastic changes, and what is a drastic change? A change that is strong enough to see the results of your labor, you're more likely to continue to make those changes. Success breeds success. All right. So success breeds success. Whenever you're, let's see, whenever you're looking at the changes you're making in your life, let's say you're looking at, for myself, for a long time, I was on the flexitarian, right? So I was going vacillating between being a vegetarian or vegan, and I would have these cheat days. You know, every Thursday, my wife would attest to that was my cheat day, and it's amazing how, like, you know, how long I would do that, and how many times my cheat day would turn into maybe cheat week. I don't know if anyone can relate to that. But I was making changes, yeah, but I wasn't making big changes. I was, you know, wasn't very specific. I just said I want to eat more plant-based diet. I want to eat more. I want to limit meat, dairy, eggs, and cheese. So I started to, you know, I started to making changes, but it took, and this is a process of years, guys, for me, where I was back and forth, vacillating my diet. My weight wasn't changing. You know, I wasn't seeing results. I'd go out one day, I'm full vegan. Next day, I'm in Burger King, ordering my first a chicken sandwich, right? So yeah, Benjamin, you're right. Your circle of friends is who you are. That's huge. When you dive into a lifestyle change, though, when you fully embrace it, studies show you're more likely to stick with it. You know why? Because you see the results faster. It's very hard to make small changes, especially when it comes to your diet, and stick with them because you don't see the results. You're still your pants are still tight around the waist, right? And you're asking yourself, is it worth it? Is it worth it? But when I started to actually get rid of my cheat days, when we're gonna get into this too, I started to make broad changes like going to the gym, getting up early to get there and make sure I got it done. Fasting, practicing intermittent fasting. I started implementing very strategic changes that were specific and measurable. And within a year, I lost 15 pounds. I was looking great, feeling great. I mean, I'm all for humility, but I was pretty happy with myself because I look at the mirror and I say, I like what I see. You know, when you feel it, when you see the difference, when you could feel the difference, when you can actually think clearly. Because when you're eating healthy and making these changes, now I'm starting to think clearly. I'm starting to feel more energized. There was no way I was going back to cheat days. It wasn't worth it, you know, because I could feel something happening in my body. So step one, make smart goals. Step two, dive into those changes instead of creeping into them slowly. Don't just dip your toe into the water, right? Immersing yourself in a new environment of change is hard, and when you do it slowly, sometimes you find yourself jumping back onto the shore of the old self. But if you're to dive into those changes, fully embrace them, you're going to be more successful. Okay. Yeah, someone's talking about their cheating on M&Ms. I got you, man. Yeah. For me, it was Snickers. Man, Snickers was my cheat. She said, let me read the rest. I got to break that habit. I've gained almost 20 pounds since my accident. A1C was 5.5. Now, granted, I can't really exercise at the moment, but the M&Ms are not helping. Yep. So, you know, we had to make big enough changes. If you're struggling, this especially worked if you're struggling with making consistent changes. The more you're able to fully embrace the lifestyle you need to make to achieve your goal, the more likely you're going to be consistent with those changes as you seek success faster. Okay. But yeah, we're going to move on from that point. Before we get to the point 3, actually, there's another part of that. Habits are not formed in isolation. Whenever you form a new habit, okay, it's usually connected to other habits, right? All right, Austin Benjamin. Benjamin says he gave up alcohol, made him feel better. I mean, you feel the difference when you make a big change like that, right? Like not drinking alcohol. Some of us need to stop the weekend binges, okay? It's just not doing you any favors, right? Or the social smokers. Sometimes we just need to throw it all away, and you start to feel so much better when you do that. It makes it easier to resist it, man. Right? I mean, even if we just stopped on that step alone, guys. Man, like, I don't need to talk anymore. I really don't need to talk anymore. But I want to really cement this dive in. Step 3, I'll tell you, it's going to be very short. This talk is mostly about step 2, diving in. Okay. Yeah, habits are not formed in isolation. They are connected to other habits. That's exactly right. And so if you think about this, I want you guys, now I want to get you some more interaction here. I want you guys to put your thinking caps on. All right. Thinking about your goals, some of the goals you guys set for, like, improving your carpentry skills, someone said, improving their health or helping others improve their health. I want you to think about the multiple habits or skills or things you need to do well in order to achieve that goal. Think about it. Think about the multiple things you need to do well to achieve that goal. Because a lot of times we think to ourselves, well, I should say we get caught up in the hype of that. If I do this one thing, right, then I'll finally get the victory and reach my goals. We see social media advertisements. If your blood sugar is elevated, if you do this one trick, your sugars will be normal, right? You want to lose weight? Well, there's this one trick that will burn away that belly fat. Anyone heard that? There's one trick, that one secret. We're so obsessed with that one thing. We think if we do well, but the reality is there are multiple things that we need to do well if we're going to ever experience lasting changes in our lives. We need to string habits together. There's actually a term for this called habit stacking. It's when you take one thing that you're doing already, and there's 2 ways to look at this. You look at one habit that you're trying to create, and you link it to a habit you've already formed, something you're doing now. That's habit stacking. Or you can stack at the same time one habit with another habit that you're trying to form and sync them together. All right. So Benjamin, that's probably something new for a lot of people. And I want to hear from you guys too, some more. What are some habits, as I'm talking about habit stacking? I want you to be thinking about what are habits, what are skills that you need to perform well to reach your goals. All right. Because it's not just about one thing. It's usually multiple things. I know for myself, to reach my health goals, I needed to start getting up early. I needed to start drinking more water. I started reading more about nutrition and health. I was obsessed with consuming books about health and nutrition. I started going to the gym. Obviously, there were multiple things I needed to do well in order to achieve the ultimate goal I wanted of better health. Okay. Yes. Someone, I think this is a question. And again, I can't see all your names, so I apologize. I can't see your name. Take one thing you already do and link it to a new one, or put 2 habits together. Did I understand that correctly? Yes. You can do all this. You can do all of the above, all that you said at the same time. Let me give an example. Well, first, let me tell a story to show you how important this is. So David says, understanding the purpose of life is the most important thing. That's actually the last goal. You beat me to it, but we're going to, I had a friend named Tony. Okay. This is a little basketball analogy from our sports fans. Tony was a kid that had moved in to high school in my high school years from China. Tony was not his real name. Okay. But Tony and I, we hit it off. Me and him we had like kindred spirits where we joke and laugh about everything. We found everything funny. But he was a comical guy. One thing about Tony is that he loved basketball. Man, that man loved basketball. But he loved something very specific about basketball. He loved dunking. Like everyone, of course, in the high school years is obsessed with slam. Those who can dunk a basketball. But he wanted so bad, this kid from China, Tony, to dunk that basketball. So he practiced. He put weights around his ankles, and he would run around my neighborhood. He would do these jumping exercises I shared with him. He would do these squats and these leg exercises. And I think I can't remember how long it took, but a few months later, the man was dunking. He would actually dunk a basketball. He was so happy. I remember he called me, "Lewis, I gotta show you, man. Let me show you. I could dunk it. I could dunk it. I could dunk it." Yeah, it's very hard to dunk, but man did it, man. I mean, hats off to him. He accomplished that one thing. Because guess what? Tony couldn't play basketball other than dunking. He could do nothing else. He didn't know how to dribble. He couldn't even lay up. I mean, now anyone who plays basketball knows the importance of doing a layup. The man could dunk, but he didn't know how to do a layup. The man couldn't do anything else but dunk a basketball. He was worthless as a teammate if you were calling for a pickup game. Good question. I think it might have been, I assume it was 10 foot. It was at his house. Might have been 9.5, but yeah. It's funny to think about, man, this guy could not play basketball, but he could dunk. And some of us are taking this attitude about life. If I could do this one thing well, there are multiple things you need to do well. Okay. Multiple things you need to do well in order to achieve your goals. What you want to do is start thinking about those multiple things and stringing them together. Perfect example. If you say to yourself, I want to start eating more plants, more plant-based foods, right? And I also want to eat less snacks. Think about the habits you have around snacking. For me, my habit was whenever I left work, right, as a reward for a hard day's work, because I hate going to work and I have to reward myself because it's over. I'm driving out of that prison, right? And I would always have to reward myself. So I find it, I had to think about why I ended up at the gas station on the way to work every single day for years to pick up that Snickers bar, that chips and that Pepsi. It's because I was rewarding myself for a hard day's work. And I just wanted something salty to eat. So it used to be chips and also something sweet like a soda. So what I did, I decided I'm going to continue that habit of rewarding myself, but I'm going to reward myself with something else that's also sweet and salty. So I got trail mix, and I would keep trail mix in my car every day so that whenever I left work on my way, when I got that craving again to eat something salty and something sweet, I'll grab my trail mix, always have the raisins in there too, and I'll eat that instead. It was amazing. That one thing. I had a habit of rewarding myself. I had a goal of eating healthier, and I linked them together. I rewarded myself with healthy food and made sure that I had it in a place, in a time where I know the craving or the habit turned its ugly head. I hope that makes sense. Another simple thing is if I have a habit of, if I decided that I want to eat more fruits, I decide it's a lofty goal, but how do you tie that to a habit? Well, every day when I leave to go to work, I have to pass through the kitchen. I mean, this is simple. I think it sounds a lot too simple to be true, but these small things make a big difference. All I did was put a fruit bowl in the kitchen next to the door where I leave when I go out the house. And I'll find myself reminding myself, remembering of my commitment to eat fruit. Just because it was no longer in the fridge, it was actually on the counter in a bowl, right where I could see it every day. I'll grab that fruit and have a fruit every day. All right. Yeah. Benjamin says I quit smoking 2 packs a day and went to chewing 3 packs of Trident gum. Right. You have to replace those habits with things you're already doing now. And it's also good when you can link habits together. So there's so many ways to do this, but if I'm going to think about habits in isolation, just changing one thing, it's going to be very hard. But if you could take one habit and link it to something you're already doing, then you're more likely to be successful. I hope that makes sense in that habit. Okay. Yes, that's right. That's right. Someone's writing here that I'm glad you said trail mix because I made some. I made some the other day. My husband wanted M&Ms. I said no. I'm making trail mix. That will be way healthier than just the candy. So I put pecans and cashews, dried cranberries, and almonds, and it was so delicious. That's right. Right. So finding good healthy replacements, and this is not just about. I know we're talking about health, but this tip about stacking habits together can be let's go back to the reading part. If you decide I want to be more productive, and okay, let's do a different goal. For those who are in business or looking for or do to be coaches. I know a lot of people want to be coaches. If you have a goal, I want to be more productive in my business. Not very smart goal, because what does that mean? I want to be more productive in my business. No, I want to sign 5 clients in the next 6 months by posting on social media daily and making sales calls on my break during work. That's a smart goal, right? Now there are many things you need to start doing in order to achieve that goal, right? I need to start waking up early so I can make sure that I can make the time to put in necessary education and reading on the subject I want to master. I want to start to probably also get to the gym, because exercise actually increases blood flow to the brain and makes you think clearer, which makes you more likely to achieve your goals of being a good coach or trainer or whatever your plan is, right? Also want to start eating healthier. So you see, it's not just one thing you need to do. You're thinking about getting 5 clients at the end of 6 months. It's not just about making a sales call. It's about how you start your day every day, how you show up to life. The more you're able to put together healthy habits that promote the health and the clarity of your mind and the strength of your body, the more likely you are to succeed in every goal you make, regardless of what that goal is. Because we are not one-dimensional creatures. We are creatures who are made of 3 dimensions: mind, body, and spirit. And we're going to go into our next goal. And then a bonus goal, I should say, that connects that. So our last goal is step. Our last step is also very simple. It's to keep track and written progress on how you're doing with your goals. You see, if you're not tracking your progress, if you're not writing down at the end of 6 months whether or not you reach your goal, at the end of, let's say, a few months, if your goal was to read 15 minutes a day, are you reading 15 minutes a day? I don't know. I mean, some days I do, some days I don't. If you're not writing down and you're actually recording your progress, then you don't know if all your methods are failing. You may have to go back to the drawing board and figure out what's going on. But how do you go back? How do you know if you have to go back to the drawing board if you're not writing down whether or not you're successful at the measures or steps, I should say, to reach those goals? You don't, to quote my favorite trainer, you don't know what to do if you don't know what you did. So a lot of us are driving blind through life, not because we're not setting smart goals. It's because we're failing at tracking them. Okay, and I'll show you really. Hopefully for those who can see it, I want to show. Well, just for simplicity, I won't show it. But one way to track your goals is very simple. I got it from a book everyone should read called Atomic Habits. It's called a habit tracking calendar. Simply get a calendar. Okay, or you don't even need to get a calendar. Just make a graph where you put the days of the month, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, all the way to 31 days on a page, and then you write in the habit that you're trying to achieve. Reading 6 books in 6 months, or losing 15 pounds this year, right? You write down your goal. And under that, you write down what you need to do to succeed at that goal. 15 minutes, let's say 30 minutes of exercise 3 days a week, for example. Waking up early so I can have the time to read. You write down the specific things you need to do. This is the habit stacking now. You think about all the habits it takes to reach those goals, right? The next thing is very important. On that same paper, this is why you wrote the days of the month, right? You simply put an X when you've actually accomplished, and you put, let's say we're in April, for the month of April. On Monday, if I on day one of April, did I accomplish what I set forward to do, right? And did I wake up early, or did I go to the gym? You put an X. All right, you put an X. And you could actually see, am I being committed or am I lying to myself? Because when you look at that calendar, you're going to see a whole bunch of X's, or you're going to see a bunch of zeros, and you're going to say, well, yeah, I'm not winning. I'm not conquering. And it's nice because you're no longer driving blind. Now you can see on that calendar, am I on track to reach the finish line, or do I need to go back to the drawing board and make better goals, or are the steps off? You can now fine tune what's not working. I'm already taking more time than I said I was going to take. At 10 minutes, I said I was going to take about 20, 30 minutes, and it's already been 30 minutes of us sharing. But there's so much more that could be said. We're going to be having live every Monday on different topics regarding health and wellness. So definitely set your calendars for every Monday at 7 p.m. But before we close off, I want to give some bonuses, okay? As far as being successful. Someone said it already. Join a group with people who are like-minded, who have similar goals as you. This is so important. Someone's asking how often I post. I usually post, as far as the live, I post a reminder on Thursdays on Facebook, and I send an email out as well. You could always share your email with me, and I'll email you whenever we have lives if you want to get a reminder. All right, so going back to the bonus as we wrap this up, the bonus step is to make sure you're surrounding yourself with like-minded people who have similar goals as you. So that's why it's important to join groups like my Facebook group, Diabetes 180 on Facebook, if you want to surround yourself with like-minded people who have similar goals as far as health and wellness. Second, a bonus is this, and this is huge: finding a higher purpose in life and connecting with that purpose. This is huge because when you're connecting, you can connect with other people in the gym, or on social media, friends and family. This is what I call a horizontal accountability. It's important. You need accountability of those around you, but there's a higher accountability. This is when I read my Bible and I'm reminded that everything I do to the glory of God. Now I have accountability, not just on the horizon, but also to vertical, to my Creator, the one that created me and designed me and loves me and gives me purpose. Now I know I'm not just doing it just so I can be successful and people can know my name. No, I'm doing it so that I can fulfill my ultimate purpose in life, my higher calling in life. And when you have this as a motivation, right? This is why I spend time in the Bible, to rekindle my flame every day, because now I have accountability, not just horizontally, but vertically. I'm reminded why I'm doing what I'm doing. My success and my failure is more than just for myself. It's for something greater than me, right? Yeah. So sorry to hear about that, dear Benjamin. That's tough. But yeah, that's about it. That's as much time as I want to take from you guys. All right. I really thank you guys for joining in, and please remember, we're going to have a live every Monday where we talk about a topic on health and wellness. Feel free. Yeah, you're right. When Benjamin writes, when people see you happy, they hate your happiness, right? But you have to do good for goodness sake, and also for your sake, right? So again, yeah, Monday, 7 p.m. Hope you guys can join our lives. If you feel like you need more heads up notice, I do send emails out for those who have shared the email with me. So definitely share your email either on Facebook, or even if you're watching on YouTube, you can send a message, and I'll be able to put you on the newsletter. All right. So you guys have a good night. Again, thanks for watching. I'll see you next week.